Taylor Sheridan's hard work has paid off. The creator of Paramount's groundbreaking series Yellowstone can finally sit back and relax. It's been a couple of weeks since the neo-western wrapped up, and with all the millions that Yellowstone's gathered, Sheridan can relax at the Four Sixes Ranch. But that's not the Sheridan we've all come to know. In fact, if we know anything about the creator of Yellowstone, it's that he's already coming up with new plots and characters. Remember the Four Sixes Ranch we just talked about? That has something to do with Sheridan's huge plan for the franchise. Yellowstone's ending. Hit or miss? The biggest challenge that comes with creating a series that breaks records, makes millions, and is celebrated for being one of the very best of the best is the fact that it becomes all the more impossible to give it a proper goodbye. That became the prime issue in Sheridan's case as well when Yellowstone was drawing to its close. A few issues had precipitated the finale, mostly the fact that they were short one cast member. How much of a difference could one cast member even make? Well, that one guy was none other than Kevin Costner, aka John Dutton III, aka the lead of the show. That's right, the finale's date was pushed forward a couple of seasons when Costner announced that he would be exiting the series. That wasn't what Sheridan had hoped for, but he was up for a challenge. Now, fans knew that if anyone could make it happen, that is, create a finale that's worthy of the legacy the show's created, it would be Taylor Sheridan. But Costner's exit was only one of the many roadblocks ahead. Next came the writer's strike, which delayed production by almost a year. And just when you thought the problems were dealt with, Matthew McConaughey left the franchise, before he'd even started, too. With the issues piling on, fans started losing hope in Sheridan's ability to come through with a stellar finale. Just when all hope was lost and Reddit threads were fuming, Ian Bohen announced that the finale had wrapped up and that it was one of the best finales in television history. Kelly Reilly swooped in just the same, claiming that the ending was exactly what Sheridan had planned from day one, implying that Costner's exit hadn't really put a dent in the storyline. Then there was also a rumor that Costner might come back, but Sheridan nipped that in the bud pretty quickly, claiming that he'd already come up with a finale script and wasn't looking to make any changes anytime soon. With all the drama surrounding Season 5's Part 2, you'd think that it would either be the best finale ever or the worst, right? Well, according to Yellowstone fans on Reddit, it was lukewarm at best. Yes, Sheridan played off Costner's exit from the show into the plot, and yes, the series finale tried its best to tie up loose threads, but it fell short of being spectacular. Many fans complained that it seemed like Sheridan had just thrown together something at the very last minute. Was there any truth to this? Here's the tea. Fans believed that Sheridan had been preoccupied in the days leading up to the Yellowstone finale. This was because he'd already started working on 6666, aka the Four Sixes. The storyline was supposed to develop sometime around the 4th season of the parent series, but nothing ever kicked off. Then it was announced that McConaughey would be leading the spin-off, but again, nothing ever happened. Finally, it was announced that the spin-off would actually serve as the 6th season of the parent series. You guessed it, that didn't happen either. So here's where we're at right now. Sheridan put Yellowstone to rest once and for all and isn't about to resurrect the parent series for anyone. In the meanwhile, he's focused on several spin-offs in the franchise, hoping to bring them to par with the legacy that Yellowstone's left. The Madison and the drama surrounding it. Some roles are created for certain actors, and you'd think that John Dutton III was a role created specifically with Costner in mind. However, you'd be wrong. Sheridan had originally pitched the series to HBO, who wanted to go with a different leading actor. Then, when he shifted to Paramount, the network agreed that the best man for the job would be Costner. However, there was someone else who would also look great in a cowboy hat. That'd be Matthew McConaughey. The Hollywood actor was reportedly a fan of the series and wanted to be a part of it, should the opportunity ever arise. It did when Costner announced his exit from the series and Sheridan had to raise spirits. But then, because Sheridan couldn't give McConaughey the finished script that he wanted, the star walked away from the project. Which project would that have been? None other than The Madison. Based in the Madison Valley, this standalone series might be a part of the Yellowstone franchise, but it's nothing like the parent series. In fact, this would be one of those rare times that Sheridan's created a series that's not a spin-off. The Madison follows Michelle Pfeiffer's character as the matriarch of the household after an unexpected loss. She relocates her family from New York to the Madison Valley, and of course, this change in scenery comes with its own share of problems. The Madison will be the latest installment in Sheridanverse, and it's one that the fans are eagerly anticipating. Along with Pfeiffer, the show has a stellar ensemble cast that includes one Patrick J. Adams, too. The 1923 could be the next Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan is a big fan of spin-offs, and the first one that came into being after Yellowstone was 1883. The spin-off told the story of how the Dutton family came to own the Montana ranch in the first place. It follows Tim McGraw and Faith Hill in lead roles as the Dutton family ancestors in a post-Civil War Montana. Sheridan claimed that the series was always meant to be a standalone with one season. However, after its success, Paramount creators wanted more, and that's where 1923 came in. Again, Sheridan planned for the spin-off to be a standalone series. However, this time, network execs told him there needed to be some wiggle room. That is, Sheridan killed off several of the lead characters of 1883 in the finale, making it virtually impossible for a second season. Alternatively, he made sure that there was some space left in the storyline to make a second season of 1923 happen. This worked out great considering how Yellowstone was drawing to its end as well. If you thought 1883 was a hit, wait till you hear about the ensemble cast for 1923, featuring industry giants such as Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. 1923 was on the verge of becoming a bigger hit than Yellowstone. This spin-off prequel series aired its first season in 2022. The second and final season is coming in February 2025. The show focuses on Dutton's family ancestors living in the title era, navigating life during Prohibition and the Great Depression. Brendan Sklenar co-stars as Spencer Dutton, their nephew, who is more like a son to them. A possible sixth season? Never say never. While Sheridan claimed that the final half of Season 5 would double as the series ended, there's still a slight possibility that there'll be another season. The finale didn't necessarily end on a cliffhanger, but it did leave some room in the storyline for a new plot to develop. Specifically, as Rip and Beth ventured off into the sunset, creating a new life for themselves, fans believed that it served as potential for a sixth season. Now, Sheridan himself has been careful not to give fans any false hope. Likewise, he's made sure not to close the door on a sixth season completely either. Basically, there's no set date for the sixth season yet, or even if there is going to be one at all. Still, fans have made a fair enough assumption that the sixth season, or the spin-off that focuses primarily on Rip and Beth, would be based on the Four Sixes Ranch. That is, the spin-off that never came to be, the one that was delayed over and over again, will now be focused on franchise favorites. However, that's still speculative. We don't know if that is or isn't going to be the case. We just know that Cole Hauser and Kelly have renewed their contracts for a longer time in the franchise. This obviously means that there's more to come than just Yellowstone or just the first 5 seasons. Fans are hopeful, but will Sheridan pull through? Again, never say never.